everyone. Thank you very much for being here. As Sal mentioned, my name's Anna McCormack. I founded IWD Brisbane Meanjin in 2017 and started the first feminist IWD rally and march that we've had for quite a long time in Brisbane in 2018. We've continued that, although the first one was taken over by the trans, and they've made a very good attempt to do it today. There are two things that I'd like to mention before I do my awards presentations. The first is that I wrote to the leader of the opposition in Queensland, David Crisafulli, in November last year, following a very successful public meeting that we had, which passed a number of resolutions. One of them called on the opposition to commit to reversing the sex self-identification legislation that we knew the Labor Party was intent on passing. So I wrote to Crisafulli in November. He has not responded. Please write to the leader of the opposition and get a commitment from him that he will reverse this legislation, which will soon be passed. The second thing is that I have agreed to advice from the police that we not have our planned march today for our own safety. So, as you know, there were attempts to stop us having our rally today, and we delayed the beginning of our rally so that more police could be called on to ensure that we could meet safely. But they have advised me that we don't have the march, and I've agreed to that. So I hope you understand that. Thank you. We will still, however, have several rounds of our chants, led by our chant leaders Narissa and Stasia. So we'll do that at the end of the rally. Dance if we want. This is one of the bits of the annual Brisbane Meanjin IWD conference and rally that I enjoy the most. Being able to acknowledge the efforts of 4 women who have gone above and beyond in their efforts to advance women's sex-based rights. And all women's rights are sex-based. Otherwise, they are not women's rights. The Eva Bacon Award acknowledges and keeps in our memories the work of Eva Bacon, communist, advocate for peace, trade unions, Aboriginal rights, and perhaps most recently in her life, women's liberation. Eva was the driving force behind IWD in Brisbane for more than 20 years. And she always said, it's not just a day, it's the whole year and it's a lifetime. Eva came to Australia as a young Jewish socialist fleeing fascism in 1939. I'm proud to have known Eva before she died in 1994 and to have learned a great deal from her about struggle and about solidarity. Eva recruited me to the Communist Party. So when the opposition, when the other side claimed that we're all from the right and we're all Christians, it's not true. This is not a left-right issue. This is about women's sex-based rights, and some people from the right and some people from the left support women's sex-based rights. Magdalene Burns would be better known to most of us than Eva Bacon, a young British lesbian feminist of sharp intelligence and analysis and quick humour. For many of us, Magdalene's YouTube videos were the first we'd seen, where a woman presented bravely and in an upfront way about the dangers of gender ideology to women. The YouTube videos received additional support and coverage when J.K. Rowling supported them. If you haven't seen those videos yet, they're still available. Magdalene was also a boxer and a software developer, and she co-founded the Scottish group for Women Scotland, which many of us follow. Sadly, Magdalene died in 2019 of a brain tumour. She was 36. Before I announce this year's winners of both the Eva Bacon and Magdalene Burns Awards, I'd like to list the women who've been awarded them to date. Steph Hughes, who you heard speak earlier, was awarded the Eva Bacon Award in its inaugural year, 2019. The next year, 2020, the Red Rose Foundation and Betty Taylor received the award. In 2021, Janet Fraser, who you've just heard from, was the recipient of the award. Last year, in 2022, we had 2 awards because it was the inaugural Magdalene Burns Award, although it started the Eva Bacon Award in 2019. So in 2022, Anna Kerr won the Eva Bacon Award, and Stacia Fry won the Magdalene Burns Award. For 2023, we had twice the number of nominations as the previous year. And our regional 3-woman panel of Judy, Claire and Emma decided to award the Eva Bacon Award to Isla McGregor of Tasmania. Who is here today and will be speaking at the conference this afternoon. The same 3-woman regional committee also decided to award the Magdalene Burns Award to Angela Jones of Victoria. Let me tell you a little bit about each of these women. Isla McGregor is an unsung hero and a quiet achiever. She's a woman who uses her considerable intellect and capacity for hard work to advance justice for women. Isla has been involved in genuine social justice issues for many years, and sometimes she has paid heavily for it. But that hasn't daunted her. Isla always promotes the interests of women as a class rather than herself as an individual, and has worked away solidly in the background of many initiatives in Tasmania and elsewhere. Isla will work with others who come together on particular issues despite having political differences on other questions, and that's the mark of a genuine progressive. Having been a whistleblower and free speech advocate since 1993, Isla has worked on numerous whistleblower cases, including, I'll say this one quietly, police corruption, pedophilia, public and environmental health. Since 2012, Isla has focused much of her work on girls and women's safety and security. She is one of 4 Tasmanians who last year set up the Free Speech Alliance Australia, and she played a large role in organising its first forum last November. And Isla's staying with me at the moment, and already she's full of talk about the next forum she's planning. Angela Jones, the winner of the Magdalene Burns Award. Angela Jones has been unrelenting in fighting to get the truth out there about gender ideology and challenging the endless torrent of misinformation. She has organised and led events to challenge institutions, including the ABC, with its endless fawning coverage of all things trans, and has taken up the issue of men in women's prisons, as well as organising get-togethers and networking events. Her energy is boundless. She makes things happen, and she inspires people to come along and take action. With Stasia Fry, Ange has been at the heart of establishing the weekly Turf Talk Down Under on YouTube. This is doing great work, giving a voice to people and groups who've been silenced by the mainstream media on gender ideology and sex self-ID. That's my fan club over there. And it's a fantastic resource to help people reconsider their unexamined acceptance of the, quote, most oppressed narrative. Ange is also a single mum to 4 kids. She runs a small business as well as a support service for women escaping domestic violence, and she's dealt amazingly with harassment and persecution from bullying men. Thank you, Isla. Thank you, Ange. Before I ask Isla and Stasia on behalf of Ange to say a few words, I'll tell you a little bit about the prizes. The prize for the Eva Bacon Award is this charcoal and ink drawing. It was done by Donna Malone. The title of this work is Tree with Green Bench. The tree was planted in a small public park with 6 others by the Newmarket community, which is a north side suburb, to remember the fallen soldiers of World War I. It's a fitting tribute to Eva Bacon because Eva fled fascism in World War II. Also because Eva lived at Enoggera, which isn't all that far from Newmarket. The second prize is this fabulous quilt in feminist suffragette colours. It was made by the mother of one of our supporters who is here today. Thank you, Justin's mum. We're very appreciative.
Thanks, Anna. 30 years ago today, at the Canberra National Library, I attended the first National Conference on Intellectual Suppression and Whistleblowing. Never did I ever imagine that 30 years from then I would be part of what I now refer to as the largest mass whistleblower movement the world has ever seen. I think it's really important to recognise all the women who are having to self-censor. They've been silenced, they've been threatened, they've been attacked. Their children have been threatened. This poster here is just the beginning of the chronology of women in Australia who've been attacked, who are brave enough to actually put their faces here. And I'd like to recognise all the women whose faces aren't here and who are here for their fabulous bravery in what I call the worst reign of terror women have endured since the Dark Ages.
Ange was meant to send me a few words and she hasn't, so I'm winging it. She would probably have a lot to say if she was here. And it would be along the lines of, I will never stop speaking out. I will continue to fight for women's rights. I will continue to protect girls and women and children and lesbians and gay men from this, as Isla said, reign of terror by the trans activists. Woo!